My name is Virginia Sturton. I've been in this life for really quite a long time, because in September I shall be 86. Is that the good news or the bad news? Actually, it's a challenge when you get older, and I'm very glad that I was in business for over 35 years, because I think any of you who are in business or have been in business will say, yes, it's pretty challenging. In fact, I don't think we can say that business is challenging. The whole of blooming life is challenging, isn't it? It's one big challenge. The fact of the matter is there are millions, trillions in the world. And if you think about it, each one of us has got a different handwriting even, but different fingerprints, different faces. So we can do face recognition now. And so how is it? I'm sure if you gave to a child a piece of paper and you drew the outline of a head and say, can you repeat this millions and millions of times, changing the eyes and everything a little bit different, they might get into a bit of trouble and not be able to do very much. Indeed, I couldn't do any of it. So perhaps there is a designer. Perhaps there is somebody up there who's designed the whole thing and is working it all out, because not only do our looks be very different, all our characters are different. None of them are exactly the same. So that is really, I suppose, very much my interest in life is, who are we? Why are we here? What are we doing? And how can we talk about happiness. I think I talk more about contentment, really, more than happiness. If you're content, happiness is that excitement when you were children, you opened up the Christmas presents. So let's talk really a little bit more about being content. And everyone's questioning, how can I be happy? How can I be content? I haven't got an answer, quite honestly, because the only answer is, as you go along, we are in a world of contrast. You'll work it out for yourself. But there is one great element within life, which is called religion. And there are various religions. I am of the Christian persuasion. And what I think about Jesus Christ is that he was an incredibly amazing person who had, just even in the Lord's Prayer or the Ten Commandments, you know that there's a very good platform from which to sort of hold yourself and to lead your life. All those things, loving your neighbour. And I think also forgiveness is really important. So easy to be angry. Two elements in life probably are anger and love. And the Christian religion is much more built on love. So I think really we've got to learn to love each other and to love ourselves. Which brings me back to, what is the church, the Christian church, doing about helping us with all these elements? And in fact, they will be the first to agree that their numbers are disappearing. Having been in business for over 35 years, there's one thing that's most important in your business, is that you get sales. Without sales, you haven't got a business. So you need salesmen. You need people to go out there. It might be yourself, but it might be a team of people to actually sell your product. And the Christian product is the message of a very simple person called Jesus Christ. And so they need people to go out there to sell it. And the people that sell it are priests. Well, you're immediately going to say, well, of course, there are bishops and all the rest of it. Yes, there are. But at any level, I think anyone would tell you, the grassroots are incredibly important. If you're building a house, you need those foundations. Maybe you see the lovely house when it's finished, as that's what you concentrate on, but somebody's put the blooming old drains in and put all the gravel on the pathways, etc. So you need foundations. And where, in my strong belief, the church has gone incredibly wrong, and probably we shouldn't criticise them. They've got one hell of a job to do, because they've got to get a message across. They've got all these people that we spoke about earlier with all these different characters, all having different ideas about what the church should do and what the church is all about. So what a business. And then they get the bishops to try and help. They've got I love the Church of England, and actually I love, they're criticised a lot, but the bishops are are really pretty good on the whole, but they've got a very big job to do. But what they've done in very, very simple terms, they have forgotten about their salesmen, and those are the priests and the parishes and the churches. You've only got to drive around England, and don't we see everywhere you go, there's a parish church. It's part of the village, it's incredibly important. Unfortunately, there are not many people, particularly on a Sunday service, that go to those churches anymore. But if you haven't got the priests, which they've been, they had a house for duty, you get a free house, but you've got to work, and it's very difficult. It's a long story without going into it. But what, in the bottom line, I would say, they've used these good Christian people who actually have gone out there from their hearts, feeling that they've had a calling to go out and spread the word, and they've taken advantage of them. Really, they've taken advantage. They've taken about, I always say that actually givers attract takers, and these people are givers, and they've been taken by the hierarchy to do a job that's become increasingly more difficult. And so they have not invested right at that lower level, who are the people who are actually on the ground and can sound out what people want and give amazing feedback. That hasn't happened. But now, which is actually, I suppose one really ought to think about it, with this awful COVID that we've all had, everybody was living in the towns, and now they're all rushing out to the country to live in the country. And so this is where the church should be there for amazing community hubs. Unfortunately, there aren't enough priests, and now the church are talking about closing churches and having less priests. It's a tragedy. It is an absolute tragedy. We've got to look at ground level as what's needed and invest there, instead of closing that part down and investing in higher and bigger things and saying, come to the bigger churches and cathedrals. I could go on for a very long time about this. But I probably a little bit, probably business taught me that actually the simple things are the best things to get through in life or whatever, to look at things that are on the simple side. So I would like to promote, there is now a very big initiative called Save the Parish, and they have got a website, and they have recognised what I have been saying for 5 years, and it's called Save the Parish, because we've got to save the parish, but we've also got to put in more priests at ground level. What am I asking you to take away from this? I think let's look at what you feel, because not everybody goes to church, as to how important the church is to you. I'm going to ask you what the church means to you. I think there's some simple questions to put to you. First of all, do you like that lovely church in most of the villages in England? I think I can probably safely say that it probably enhances the value of your house, because they are really beautiful, lovely buildings, most of them. Absolutely lovely. Secondly, I think we all know the stations of life. That is birth and christenings, getting married, and finally dying. So there are the stations of life, and if they're important to you, they're lovely when they're celebrated in one of these lovely churches. The other thing that I think we all value is indeed the festivals, Christmas, Easter, harvest, all those get-togethers. But not necessarily going to church every Sunday. So we could ask ourselves, why don't we go to church every Sunday? Well, there's an awful lot of hard pews and a lot of old people, and perhaps a lot of reference to sin, really. Who wants that on a Sunday? And also, what's happened now is everybody goes out to work. So Sunday is a very busy day. So I think the church shouldn't expect people to come along, be told they're sinful. It's a bit ridiculous, because my feeling of the church is that actually the message from Jesus Christ is one of love, and that we should love one another and indeed love ourselves. And of course, a lot of these services are interpretations of what people thought he was saying. Don't we all know that? Things, Chinese whispers, if you like, it all gets changed, doesn't it? So that's another thing the church needs to do, and they can only do it at grassroots level by being out there and listening to what people want and changing changing thing. I did hear something on the television, which I had heard about before, which is called Spring Harvest. So look up Spring Harvest. That's another little exercise. Save the Parish, Spring Harvest, because they've got that right at Butlins Camp. They've got all these people with a joy. That's the religion. That's what religion is about. It's about love and joy. And if you feel you love people, and if you feel joyful, you're going to go out there and do a much better job. You are going to make the world a better place. So there we are. I'll end on that note, and it's been a joy. Yes, a joy. I've really loved this. I thought I was going to hate it. I've never done a video in my life before, but I think I'm really quite joyful about it.